Let's talk about the 7 winter mistakes that 90% of cat owners make, and, maybe more importantly, why our cats are suffering through them in complete silence.
You'd think that with winter raging outside, your cat is perfectly safe and sound, all cozy in your warm house. But here's the shocking truth. 90% of the real dangers they face don't come from the ice and snow. They're actually hiding in plain sight, right there inside our own homes.
And what's so mysterious about all this is, why don't they tell us? When they're facing these problems, why don't they meow or give us some kind of sign? Why do they choose to just endure it all without a sound?
To answer that, we really need to dig into 2 core reasons. The first is pure, raw survival instinct, and the second is a pretty staggering physiological difference between cats and people.
You've got to remember, our domestic cat's ancestors were both predators and prey. In the wild, showing any sign of weakness, whether it's pain or shivering from the cold, is basically like putting up a giant neon sign that says "easy meal" to a bigger animal. So they are literally hardwired to hide any and all discomfort. It's a survival mechanism.
Now, let's talk about this number. 20 degrees Celsius, that's about 68 Fahrenheit. For us humans, that's a perfectly pleasant, comfortable room temperature. But for a cat, that same temperature forces their body to start working much, much harder just to keep its internal organs warm.
And this chart illustrates exactly why that is. This is the thermoneutral zone. It's the temperature range where a body doesn't have to burn any extra energy to warm up or cool down. Our zone is a comfortable 18 to 22 degrees, and a cat's? It's way, way up there at 30 to 38 degrees Celsius. That is a huge difference. What this really means is that our comfort zone is their stress zone.
Okay, so now we're going to start our countdown of the 7 most common mistakes, kicking things off with misconceptions all about your cat's own coat.
Mistake number 7 is thinking that a messy, matted coat will keep them warmer. The truth is, matted fur completely destroys their natural insulation, allowing cold air to get right down to their skin. And mistake number 6 is putting a thick sweater on them. This doesn't just stop them from grooming, which is a major way cats de-stress, it can also make them feel confined and seriously panicked.
So what's the right way to handle this? It's pretty simple. Brush them regularly to keep their fur fluffy and insulating. Trim away any mats that have gotten too hard, and consider adding some omega-3 to their diet to help their skin's natural protective oils. But the key takeaway is this: let them be natural. Clothes are really only necessary for breeds without fur or for cats that are elderly or sick.
All right, let's move on to the next level of danger, the hidden traps that come from the very things we use to provide them with warmth. This is where our good intentions can have some pretty devastating consequences. Mistake number 5 is turning the heat off at night to save energy. That sudden drop in temperature causes blood vessels to constrict, which is absolute agony for older cats with arthritis. And mistake number 4, letting them sleep directly on an electric heating pad. Their fur is such a great insulator that they literally can't feel themselves getting burned until it's way too late. This kind of deep thermal burn is so serious, it actually has a medical term: erythema abigne, also known as toasted skin syndrome. It's severe skin damage from prolonged heat exposure, a danger that cats are completely oblivious to.
To provide warmth safely, keep your thermostat at a minimum level overnight. Don't turn it off completely. Give them cozy, cave-like beds and raise them a few inches off the cold floor. Most importantly, if you use a heating pad, always, and I mean always, put a thick blanket over it and choose a model with a safe automatic shutoff feature. Next up, let's talk about 2 critical mistakes related to life's most basic needs: drinking and going to the bathroom.
These are the kinds of things that are so easy to miss. Mistake number 3, putting the litter box on a cold tile floor. Your cat's paw pads are extremely sensitive. They would rather hold it than step on something that feels like ice. This can lead to toxin buildup and even urinary blockages. And then there's mistake number 2, leaving out a bowl of ice-cold water. To conserve body heat, your cat will instinctively drink less, which leads straight to dehydration and kidney damage.
This problem is actually known as winter dehydration. It's incredibly dangerous because it happens so quietly. Not only are they drinking less, but the dry air from the heater makes them lose moisture faster just by breathing. It's a perfect storm for kidney and bladder diseases. So what's the solution? Move the litter box to a warmer spot. Put a rug or a mat under it for insulation. Try giving them warm water, around 35 degrees Celsius or 95 Fahrenheit.
And to really get them to drink more, try using a water fountain and increasing the amount of wet food in their diet. These small tweaks can make a massive difference.
And now we've arrived at the number one mistake. It's the most common, the most harmful, and it is completely invisible. It's an enemy hiding in the very air we breathe.
That enemy is static shock. The super dry air from our heaters creates tiny electrical charges all over your cat's fur. Every time you reach out to pet them, you get that little zap, a painful shock for them. Over time, this does more than just cause fear. It raises their stress hormones, makes them irritable, and can even cause them to avoid you altogether.
And this chart really shows the problem clearly. The air in a heated room can have a humidity level below 30%, while the ideal level for cats, and for us too, is up at between 45 and 50%. That massive gap is exactly what's causing all that static electricity.
Luckily, we can absolutely fight back against this invisible enemy. Use a humidifier to keep the room's humidity in that 45 to 50% sweet spot. You can also rub a little bit of pet-safe moisturizer on your hands before you pet them. And try to use blankets and beds made of natural fibers instead of synthetics like nylon or polyester, which are notorious for building up static. So we've gone through all the mistakes. Now for the most important part, how to become a cat detective so you can learn to read the silent signals your cat is sending you.
Keep an eye out for these signs. Is your cat sleeping in an unusually tight ball, tucking their nose deep into their belly? Have they become sluggish, not playing as much as they used to? Are they suddenly shying away from your touch or acting irritable? And this is a huge one. Are they desperately seeking heat in dangerous places, like under a car or behind the fridge? This isn't laziness. These are silent calls for help.
So, after all of this, the final question we have to ask ourselves is this. Is your home truly a safe haven, or has it accidentally become an invisible minefield for your best friend? Recognizing these mistakes is the very first step to turning your house into the truly warm and safe paradise that they deserve.